All righty, guys. Good evening. Good evening. I'm Ryan, Michigan Storm Chasers. What about them Eagles, though? They are dominating the Chiefs here in Super Bowl. So that's awesome. I'm a personal, not a fan of the Chiefs. So I'm glad that they are getting stomped on. But we are here to talk about the upcoming system for midweek. Let's go ahead and dive right on in. I know you guys probably with family, a lot of stuff going on. So give me a thumbs up here in chat if you guys can hear me okay, and we'll go ahead and get started here if I get the thumbs up. I don't want to talk to air, so I'd rather know I'm speaking over the airwaves here. So someone gives me a thumbs up. All right, thank you guys. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So we are watching a system that is tracking over the ocean currently. It is out here. Go and take this full screen for you guys. Make it nice and big. This is the area we're watching, and right now it's off the ocean, so we can't sample the data just yet. So we are currently just kind of watching this as it comes on shore. Tomorrow evening, it will come on shore. We'll sample it. We'll get a much better idea of what to expect in terms of amounts, locations, timing, all that jazz. But for right now, we just have a general idea of what to expect. So let's go ahead and dive into the model here. This is the European model. We are currently favoring this model overall for its solution. We're going to see a system develop here on Tuesday to our south that will bring a snow rain mix to the south of us, perhaps some light snow showers for Michigan on Tuesday. No big deal, though. The real system to watch comes in for your Wednesday timeframe. Right about here, we're seeing off Oklahoma, Nebraska, Kansas area. We're seeing a ginormous system develop with snow on the north side, a mix of freezing rain in the middle, and then on the south side of that, we are seeing all rain. That is going to move up in toward the Great Lakes region during the day on Wednesday, reaching Michigan by later Wednesday evening. We're going to say probably late afternoon, early evening arrival for the first precip time. Let's go ahead and dive in, a zoomed in look here to the system. So backing this up here to Tuesday, moving into Wednesday, right about here, we are seeing that system right on Wednesday, 1 p.m. right here. We're seeing some snow beginning to work into the state. Let's move into Wednesday evening here at 7 p.m. The swath of heavier snow begins to move up into Michigan. But keep in mind here, we have this mix of freezing rain and rain here very close to that southeast border. Keep a close eye on that. As that moves up into the state, heavier snow in the south and east part of the state. But if we zoom really far in here, Detroit Metro, Monroe could mix in some freezing rain or sleet or just some rain even, as well as some snow. Confidence in that is quite low. There's a couple models here. The European kind of shows that for far eastern Michigan. The GFS, looking at another model here that we use, the American model, for its solution. We're seeing that system on Tuesday. Here comes the one on Wednesday. It's showing mainly a snow solution here for the part of Michigan, for basically all of Michigan here. It keeps the mix to our south here, and that is going to be something we're going to watch as well. The Canadian model, our third and final model we're going to use here, does show a similar track to the Euro, kind of in the middle of European and GFS, really. It does show snow for all of Michigan, but that mix is quite close to the border of southeast Michigan there. We're going to keep a close eye on that. Otherwise, we're leaning more toward all snow for this event. But again, we're going to keep a very close eye on southeast Michigan for mixing purposes. Don't want to ignore that signal from the European. These systems like to take jogs northwest and southeast. The current spread on the model, the European to be exact, is as follows here. The little L's here indicate the center of the system per each model member. So we have 50 members being shown here, but you can see the grouping is pretty much between Toledo and Cleveland, and that would give us here in Michigan a pretty much all snow solution, but a very simple jog to the northwest would move that mix up into the southeast part of the state. So that's what we're going to keep a close eye on here. Overall, over the next couple of days, by tomorrow evening, data becomes a whole lot better. So I would say the exact timing, exact amounts, and all that jazz will come tomorrow evening. Now, in terms of snowfall amounts, people are going to ask, what are we looking at? Well, let's go ahead and look at the European model. And again, this is not a forecast, just what the model is saying. We're going to move this up into the time frame here. Let's go ahead and move this forward throughout the next couple of days. We're going to pause it right about here. There's that system that's going to pass off to our south on Tuesday, and then here comes our system out to the west for Wednesday. As this moves up into the state, we're going to start seeing snow there Wednesday afternoon. And then as that pushes up, a nice swath of, we're going to say anywhere from 4 to 8+ inches of snow is likely, with the heavier swath centered closer to the system center, which is again over Cleveland area. So the closer you get to that center of the low, the bigger the snowfall amounts will be. So right now, the favorable corridor for heavier snow is going to be southeast Michigan. That could change, it could shift. That's currently our thinking at this current moment. Now we went ahead and highlighted a couple areas here in Michigan with our own forecast thoughts. We just posted it actually before we went live here. Moderate snow is the term we're deeming this. We're not going to go heavy snow just yet, because for heavy snow, we really want to see like 10+ inches. That's what we consider heavy here. But we could definitely see a decent swath of anywhere from 4 to 8 inches in the heavier swath, potentially higher if we're lucky. And then further north, a general 2 to 4 in the lowest part, and then 3 to 6, 4 to 8 should be the going rate for this system. But again, we're going to tune this a lot better come tomorrow with the new data that we get. So zooming this into a Michigan look, this is kind of what it looks like here. Moderate snow extends from basically the Tri-Cities through the thumb all the way back down toward Kalamazoo and Niles, Holland area. And then anywhere north of there, lighter snow currently is the favored mode for this system. Further to the south and east, we did highlight a very small sliver of southeast Michigan in a mix, which is going to be freezing rain most likely. So overall, we're not certain we're going to get a mixing there. Again, like I said, to start the stream, we're watching it very closely. Models are kind of split on what's going to happen here. It very well could jog back to the west. That would shift some mixing in for southeast. That could also shift the moderate snow a little bit further north and west as well. So keep a close eye on this. We're going to be doing that throughout the next couple of model runs. Tomorrow is a big day for us forecasting wise, because models become a lot more accurate. So do stay tuned for the next round of forecast info from us. Overall, the panic-o-meter, we came up with this a few days ago. We're still keeping it at that worth mentioning, but tomorrow morning, if nothing changes, we'll have to put out the bread and milk watch here, have some fun with this system a little bit. But just keep in mind, we're getting closer to a nice snow for parts of Michigan. That is your forecast here for you guys. I know you guys are in the middle of watching Super Bowl, so you guys can go ahead and go back. If you guys got questions, I'll stick around here and answer some. Overall, nice quick stream here tonight. That is what we're tracking overall. Yeah, so I'll turn to the comment section now. We got Annette, Amanda, Chad, Deb. What's up, guys? As far as ice amounts, I see a question here about ice amounts. Again, not sure it's going to be in Michigan, but the European model does give a very thin swath of, we're going to say about 2/10 or so of an inch of ice here all the way into southeast Michigan. But again, that could and will likely change in the next couple of days here. So somewhere in the Great Lakes region, whether it's Ohio, Indiana, or even southeast Michigan, we could definitely get some icing mixing in as well. So keep that in mind. It's not a little bit of ice, but it could be a decent, glaze, or perhaps 2/10 of an inch, if at most. Temps during this event. Good point there, or good question there, Skylar. The temps during this event are going to be mid-20s, which is also going to lead to a lighter snowfall. It's not going to be the heavy wet type. It's going to be a lighter, fluffier type. So keep that in mind as well. Winds are not going to be a huge factor with this. So the main winds I'm seeing on the models here, 20 to 30 at most. It could cause some blowing snow in spots, especially because it's lighter snow. But it's not going to be a huge, drifting, gigantic drifts or blizzard-like conditions. No, not at all. Can you please make the storm miss the Flint area? Well, unfortunately, the forecast at the current moment pretty much it kind of puts Flint in the dead center of the system. So what model are we leaning towards right now? The European. The European model seems to have a pretty good handle on things. Now, again, shifting is still a possibility here. So we could see a jog northwest or southeast that could shift most of the snow into Michigan, or it could shift some mixing into the southeast part of the state. We're going to keep a close eye on it. And again, tomorrow is going to be a big day for that. This starts Wednesday afternoon. Exact time is to be determined, but we're seeing first precip. We're going to say roughly around 4 p.m., give or take a few hours or so. That'd be a good general start time for the system. It should be out by Thursday around noon at the latest. So a good solid, 16 or so hours worth of snow here in Michigan. How about the system on Saturday? Well, that's a good question. There's another system to keep a close eye on toward the weekend. It's taking a similar track to this system. However, we are still about a week away from that, so we're not going to talk about that. Let's get through the first system first. We'll keep a close eye on it, and if it does look to be impactful, we'll mention it here midweek or so. But yes, models do show potential for another system to end the week, although that could miss us entirely, or it could be another snowmaker for us. There's no in between yet, so stay tuned for that as well. Any tornadoes possible? Not with this system here, at least in Michigan. To be quite honest with you, I have not checked the south side of the system down the Dixie Alley area. I have not checked on that, but I wouldn't imagine it'd be too big of a deal with this. Kevin says about a 400-mile shift southeast would be just fine. Some people feel like that. I don't blame you guys, but over here in Southeast Michigan, especially where I live, we have not had much in the way of any snow this year. So any snow is welcome greatly. And yes, the pattern remains active across the entire month into March, at least, even on the models showing a very active pattern continuing for the next several weeks here. So we are going to probably have lots of chances for both snow. These mixed systems, if you guys caught our February Outlook video, we talked about these mixed type of systems with snow, rain, and perhaps a freezing rain, sleet mix in between. This is going to dominate the pattern here, and it's so far held true here, and it will hold true throughout the rest of the month here. So nothing unexpected is happening here at all. What kind of snow totals? So overall, right now, we're not putting an official forecast out, but going back to the model, just to give you guys a general idea of snowfall amounts, the European, I do think has a pretty good handle on things. Now, again, the heaviest is going to shift, north or south here. But if I zoom into Michigan, give you guys a little bit better look here, the general idea here is a good 4 to 8 in the heaviest swath. Could be a little bit higher, could be a little bit lower. And then further north, a good blanket of at least 2 to 6 inches for the system. And again, that could go up even. A couple of the models do show potential for 8 to 9, 10 inches in spots. But again, the support for that right now is quite low, so we're not going to go with it. But some models do show the higher end being a possibility. But that is your snowfall accumulation here based on the European, and that would match what our current thoughts, or close to them at least, would look like. Will there be a lot of power outages if a winter storm comes? So power outages with this one, unlikely, just because the winds are going to stay pretty calm. It's also a lighter snow, not really heavy in nature. So it's not going to weigh down trees or power lines. But again, any winter storm can cause isolated outages. Some cars can slide off the road, hit a telephone pole, takes out your power, stuff like that, minor in nature, but widespread, scattered, no, nothing like that is expected. All right, guys. Super Bowl is coming back on here momentarily. So 15-minute stream here. I'm going to pop out of here. Enjoy the rest of your guys' evening. We'll be on here tomorrow again, 7 or 8 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook for another update on the system. So come back tomorrow evening. We'll honestly have a nice forecast package to share with you guys with timing, first call predictions, all that jazz. So come back tomorrow evening, 7 to 8 p.m. YouTube and Facebook here at Michigan Storm Chasers. I'm going to be heading back out to watch the game. You guys enjoy your evening. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you guys tomorrow evening here at Michigan Storm Chasers.